So welcome to this new video. So today's ride is going to be a little bit different. You can already see that I'm on an OV fiets, so a fiets that you get from the rental company, which is part of the railway station system. Because today we are going to do something which is kind of normal in the Netherlands, and that is using your bike to go to work. So in this case I'm not in Utrecht. I took first the bus with a little bit of walking to the central station in Utrecht, then went to a place called Wageningen, which is where we started out, the central station of Wageningen, and to go to work on a project at a company called Marin. I will get back to the company maybe a little bit later. And yeah, I'm using this rental bike, and that's the second thing that you might notice, that the helicopter view does not really follow me step by step. In fact, it's taking the wrong route a lot of the time. I still decided to keep it up there while I'm here crossing the road, because I think it adds some value that you can see what the infrastructure is like in different places in the Netherlands. So sometimes it's in sync, sometimes it's taking a totally different route. Normally, I forgot to turn on the GPS tracker, which I can do on my phone. Normally I don't have to do that because my normal bike, which is yeah, much nicer bike, it tracks the GPS info all by itself. So I don't have to think about it. I just turn off the bike and then it's ready to go and send it automatically to my my commute account, so that I can turn it into this helicopter view. So I forgot about it. So the best thing I could do was simulate the bike ride, which clearly is using a different route than in reality. So you get kind of two biking routes into one. So without that out of the way, you also notice that the glove that I'm using to put the camera on my hand is sometimes moving. So I have to correct it. I didn't tighten it down enough, but the good news is I could re-aim the camera at times. And it's one of the first times I'm using this way of recording it. So if it looks a little bit messy, it's because sometimes you see me move my hand to signal direction, and then the camera of course also moves really quickly because it's on my hand. So in a way this is one of the reasons if people talk about the Netherlands and say, well, we have like 1.3 bikes per person. One of the reasons is of course we like bikes, but also there is a reason why sometimes we have multiple bikes. So in this location we have to be quite often for work. So today 3 people of my company are going to this other company to help out on the project, and 2 of them are using a rental bike like I am, but one of them has to be there a little bit more often, and he decided to buy what we call a €100 bike, and just put it at this station over here. So when he gets there from Amsterdam, he has to go from Amsterdam, he goes to Wageningen, gets his bike from the rack, and bikes to this location. So that means that some people might have 2 or 3 bikes just for that reason. I remember as a kid, while we are going through this normal looking neighborhood in the morning, you also see that it's quite early. It's about 8:30, so the sun is still coming up, and there's school kids going to work and other people school kids going to school and people going to work. So yeah, that's kind of normal. I remember as a kid, I was 15, 16, also doing this. So what I mean with that, I had an internship in a place called Waardenburg, which was near Zaltbommel, and I would go as a 15-year-old would be my memory, from Utrecht, walk to the central station in Utrecht, had to get on the train, go to Zaltbommel, and my dad put a bike there in the beginning of the internship, and the bike had to be picked up from the station, and then I had to go over the bridge in Zaltbommel to Waardenburg and back again. So that would add about I don't know, 3 hours to my day to do the internship there. And maybe that sounds crazy to you, maybe not as a 15 or 16-year-old, but basically I had to walk, get on the train, get off the train, of course, in another city, go to the bike place, get my bike that we put there, bike to the over the bridge, about 20 minutes to work, and then in the evening back again. There's probably a school, I didn't look at it closely, but lots of youngsters getting off, so I'm guessing this is a school. And you can already see that the helicopter view has very little to do with the actual route that we took, I think. As far as I can detect. But I still think it adds a little bit of flavor to this video. And this showcases that there are multiple ways to get somewhere using the bike. And although I tried to use Google Maps to figure out the route again, I don't think it's that similar. So it's Saturday, I'm drinking my coffee, so hopefully that doesn't bother you too much before I go on today's bike ride. Normally I'm passing most people now, most people are passing me. But I was not in a hurry. So one thing you should do in the Netherlands if you're... I'm not sure how this compares to some other countries, but I find especially Dutch people and Germans, they have the reputation to always be on time. I hate being late. So that means that if you're taking the bus, the train, and then you have to bike a bit, you plan for extra time. So I was not in a hurry. I had about... You didn't... I had to really stop. Okay. So I planned about half an hour to 45 minutes extra time, which is a lot. It was quite a nice day. Could have been rainy, so of course I have my my rain jacket and pants with me. And normally I would also use a watertight baseball cap, because as you can see today in this morning, there's a lot of sun hitting the camera and also hitting your eyes, of course. And if you wear glasses, and especially if it's raining, then it gets quite messy and tricky. So I find that using a baseball cap, one that's water resistant, keeps most of the rain and the sun out of your eyes and on your glasses. So it's interesting that Commute, which I'm using for the helicopter view, is actually deciding to take a more, let's say, less rural route. It's going to follow one of the highways, while we are not. So I find in general it's reversed, that Google tries to take the more car-like routes and Commute doesn't, but in this case it's the other way around. But like I said before, although there's two different styles of roads now on the real video and on the helicopter view, it does show you different types of infrastructure that the Netherlands has for bicycling. And it's also reality. You see how many cars are on the road and how many people are using their bike at about 9 a.m. in the morning. I always find the need to say this in these videos. The Netherlands is not anti-car. There are more cars in the Netherlands per square kilometer than any other European country. It's just that we have a better balance, I think, between the different ways of transport, which is also needed because we are a very densely populated country, so the infrastructure has to be good. We depend on it. Lots of our work depends on it, but also simply to be able to live together, I guess. So that's why I think partly both cars, bicycles, walking and public transport is more on equal ground in how much space, how much attention and how much money we spend on it. In general, I would also argue that we spend a lot of money on infrastructure, but that's part of our culture and also part of the way that we make money. Infrastructure and transportation over the world and distribution is in our DNA. So you can't really always say, why don't other locations do what we do? It's not as simple. I think there's many lessons that other countries could learn from the way that we approach some of the road infrastructure. And I think many European places after the last few years are learning these lessons. But there is a reason why it started here, and it's always been here, different than in other countries. In the last video we did a trip to the 4 parks in Utrecht, which are named after 4 queens, and on purpose I've put pictures in there of each queen riding her bicycle. This is not PR, this is what the royal family also does. Sometimes of course it's PR, but other times they would just ride around with their kids or their family or on the bike. If it's good enough for a queen or king, it should be good enough for the rest of us. It's interesting how totally different styles of bicycle paths the route planner is taken. I'm actually not really sure where we are. Let me try to find out. I know we are passing a few villages. I'm guessing this is Bennekom, but I'm not 100% sure. Keep in mind, I can imagine that you think the cars are very close and the bicycles are very close to you. At no moment in time there was danger. It's just that the camera is the way that these cameras work. Everything looks closer than they really are because of the wide view. Things from the side look really quickly in passing you or really close by. Like this bicycle, it almost looks like it's riding over me. Trust me, it wasn't. And again, we see one of these blue-yellow bikes. He was not particularly following the rules, but at points the video is a little bit dark, but that was kind of how it was this morning, because yeah, it's still you can see the sun just came up. I'm really wondering what the two different routes are. Maybe at some point I will really plan this route and do a new video which does fit. But for now it's a 2 3 for 1, I guess. Two different views of the Dutch infrastructure. One which is clearly taking the highway approach. You can see, I wouldn't call a highway, but let's say 4 lanes in this case. And on most of these roads you have a separated bicycle paths, most of the time, like in this case, a 2-directional one. While in reality I'm biking through some of the villages. So if you are going to bike in the Netherlands and you really are doing it for recreation, I would urge you to really take time to plan a little bit your bicycle route, because if you're using a normal route planner, you might get to ride through some of these lovely villages, or you might be next to a road all the time. And that makes a total difference, especially if there's also these really nice nature bicycle paths. So take care in planning. But also you can always assume that there is bike infrastructure available to you. And I know it's times it looks a little bit chaotic. At times I wonder if these videos that I've started putting online just to show to people, look how safe it is, or if you are here on a holiday, don't worry about it, it's totally safe. But if I see views like this, it almost looks like it's extremely dangerous. Like in this case the car was already close and then somebody is passing me. But I keep stressing this is more how the camera shows it to you. Then there's real danger. And the feeling I get in a lot of these videos is that it's sort of them against us. I ride about 10,000 kilometers a year on the bicycle, and one thing that I can tell you, in the Netherlands, cars are not your enemy. They are just people. Most of the time the same people ride their bike, also maybe on a daily basis. They have kids which are also riding on their bicycles. They are not the enemy. And I mean that in a really practical sense. All of them ride a bicycle, I would guess, and they know that there are just one of the users of the road. They don't own the road, and they understand that they have to give bicycle space. And in many cases the bicycle, I would argue, claims the space. I guess I was stopping here because I was not sure for a second if I was going the correct direction. Which makes the view that we are using in the helicopter view even more funny. There's something interesting in the helicopter view. Might make it bigger, because you can see that it says bus lane on it. That means that in the bottom view, I think it's a bus lane only. No, there's one car lane and a bus lane. So 2 bus lanes, 2 car lanes. Which you again, it tells you how important we consider the bike to be. And over there we are already we are going through the university area of Wageningen. Wageningen is an important university area. It's I would argue the leading university in the agriculture in the world. So it's very well known, and yeah, we're going to some of these buildings. I hope that the video ends about at the same time. I'm a little bit worried about it, although I think in the top view I see some of the buildings that I also see on the... Yes. So you can see the building on the right is also in the view up in the helicopter now. So at some point they will merge again, I hope. And you can also see the bus lane here now. So I'm guessing I'm also behind in my biking speed. So the company we are going through is called Marin, which is the Maritime Institute of the Netherlands, where they for the last 80 or 90 years test ships and offshore installations for safety and training. And I'm currently working on or helping a tiny bit on something called the 7 Oceans Simulator, which yeah, is quite cool. It's I might put it in the description. It's a virtual reality complex where the same as with the airplanes, you have to be these big sort of structures that move around to simulate movement, and you have screens all around you, or your VR glasses on, depending on where you are in the installation, and they are used to train and simulate dangerous situations and safety for ships. So they teach people how to act on a bridge of a ship. So the biggest one they are going to start using, which I'm semi-working on, is a bridge of 16 meters wide, which basically puts multiple people in this totally simulated environment where they can walk around, interact with all the panels, and all the views outside are big projectors, 3D projectors. Not 3D, but in the 3D surroundings. And yeah, multiple ships and helicopters and can be simulated at the same time for safety training, accident related stuff. Learning how to enter certain harbors, so they can simulate, for example, the harbor of Barcelona or Rotterdam, any place in the world, and train sailors and rescue people. I'm probably explaining it wrong, so I'll put a link in the description. It's very, very nice. So if you want to see some cool technology, look in the description. I will put a link to Mar in there and to the simulator we are working on. And by the end of the trip we will see that so this is kind of virtual, but they also tested in the real waters. So they have built models up to like 7 or 8 meters, let's say a ship, and put them in real water, and they have what I guess normal people say big swimming pools, where they can create waves, and they simulate waves to hit ships or offshore installations, etc, etc. So you will see at the end quite big buildings, which of course house these big swimming pools, which are quite large. We are talking hundreds of meters. I'm trying to see if I can already spot them in the video, but not yet. I hope you enjoyed this ride. You do notice that once we passed the university area, the number of bikes in the morning in this location is much less, because all the students basically already got where they wanted to be. I think in the shadows you can actually see the camera on my hand on the bike. But there we can see quite a few people bicycling. I guess also to the other, from another direction to the university area. I am not gifted with a perfect directional feeling, so I used GPS quite a lot. When I left one of my earlier jobs at the National Broadcasting Corporation, they gave me a GPS, which was quite rare at the time, because I always was losing my way. But time has moved forward. We tend to forget, or maybe this is just my generation, how quickly things have changed. I remember that GPS only told you basically 2 numbers, the GPS numbers, and it was possible to use a mapping tool to figure out where you are. It's not like all devices have GPS trackers built in and can tell you where you are and generate these totally cool views. It's amazing, although maybe I should try at some point, if I can build a small setup on the bike that actually shows you the helicopter view while you are biking. I'm pretty sure it's doable. And if you think about that, that's pretty amazing. There's no reason to get lost anymore. We now live in a world, I guess, where you can use your phone to find your remote control. You can use your remote control to find your phone. make sure where your bags are if you're on a trip. I do that. I put GPS trackers or air tags in my all my suitcases so that I know where they are. And if I'm in an airplane, I usually check if my bags are also in the airplane, because I can see that they are really close or not. So in the top view, in the helicopter view, we can see the Marin location, and like you can see the normal houses surrounding it. These big big swimming pools where they simulate the boats. So I will probably at some point zoom in and put some overlays of the roundabout there, because I know this is also done in other countries, because that video is now done. We can sort of zoom in and zoom out later. I will, because I was already there virtually, but not in reality. I'm standing at a traffic light, but you can see maybe in the middle of the roundabout a small ship, because like in other countries you can, I guess, adopt a roundabout as a company. So this company Marin adopted this roundabout, and they put a ship in the middle, one of the model ships, so you have some idea of, it's kind of like a model ship. They're also yellow and it kind of look like this, in the middle of the roundabout with their logo, which I thought was funny. I will show a little bit later on. But it does mean we are getting close. I'm not sure if we're getting close in reality. I'm assuming we are also getting very close. Maybe I can quickly try to zoom on the 3D view. Put the company in view a bit better. I guess I can't. Why not? I lost my mouse on my computer. Where is my mouse? There it is. So you can see that these buildings are quite big, and the one that we are currently working on is this building over here. I think turn it around a bit. So in here they have these big swimming pools that they can create waves, and then put the models in there and drag them through the water. They have multiple locations, most in the Netherlands, but they also have one in Houston. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Let me zoom out again. See, I'm already lost because I... Oh yeah, there is the... Because I wanted to show you... the ship. This is also showing you an interesting feature, and let me zoom out again, because I will show it when the video is done. So I will leave it here. Oops. Come on, work with me. Helicopter view. So I'll leave it like this and show you something at the end of the video, which I think is useful if you want to use the Google Earth application to plan your trip, or just to look around a certain area you're interested in. I know we are on the correct road now. Very near in the end. So at the end I will show you a tiny bit of the roundabout, because I think that's kind of fun. Probably only a few people who made it this far, so. I did think that my ride was more interesting or nicer than the ride, in this case simulated by Google. I guess that also when I was going to school as a kid, I would normally take a ride which has less stress, I would say, or less thinking. In the morning, if you're a kid, you're not thinking that much. So I would always take the route which has less traffic lights and was easier to bike, instead of the quickest one. So it's very personal. Some people want to have the quickest route, some people want to have the relaxing route. Again, doing my hand movement, and here we are at the company. So I'll stop the video here. I don't want to film at the company, and we are going to this 3D view for a second. So we keep recording and show you what I want to show you. So if you're not played with Google Earth application, this is a good introduction. I have put a real big video online on the same channel, on this channel, to show you more. But I just wanted to show you this roundabout, which I can zoom in. And of course I can also rotate it. So I'll make it totally full screen now, so you can also see me controlling it. And the nice thing is, of course, you can zoom in and zoom out, as you can see, and we can see our total route that we have biked. Now, what's nice about it, if I zoom in again, at some point it will go to street view. So I'm zooming in, and there it goes. It goes into street view. I just look around. And if you're a little bit lucky, you can see that indeed the ship I was talking about. How do I move here? Oh, that's how I move backwards. So I guess this is how I move forward. And I'm assuming that I can also look up and down. Yep. Okay, I want to move a tiny bit to there. But you can see you can navigate around, and here indeed you see this is a bit of course an artistic model, but the models kind of look like this, and it says better ships, blue oceans. That's part of their corporate slogan. But you can see they put one of these ships in the middle of this roundabout near the company, which is over there. And again, you can see there's a bus there. So if I go by the bus, you see the bus stop over here, and you can see that bicycles, they have 3 bicycle storage areas inside the company, but even then there's also bikes here for other people in the neighborhood. So yeah. So what's nice about it, you can do this all over the world, of course. It depends a bit what street view information, what 3D information is available. But you can see on top, I can even go back to the rendering, and then you can see what it does if it doesn't have street view. It tries to render, based on the photography that it took from the air, how this would look. And of course, this is not great, but if you think about what it's actually doing, I find it quite amazing. So you can see here the picture that they made from a Google car, and here we can move to the totally generated view. And of course, unlike the street view, we can zoom in and zoom out on this one. So if I do exit, I will go up again. And there we have the simulated view. And there you can also see the ship again. And we can look at the different buildings at this company. I'm not sure what happens if I zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Well, it puts us somewhere in between the cards. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's kind of nice. You can sort of look at the surroundings. I hope you like this trip, so we can see how it put us through this neighborhood. Small park over there. And again, like I also showed you in Utrecht, there's quite a lot of water in the whole country, and you see that there's also water left and right over here. So that was the whole road that it biked. Although we took a different kind of approach. This part was kind of the same. Yeah. And then slowly we made it back to the central station, which is over here. And again, also here, of course, we can zoom in and zoom out. So keep in mind how powerful this tool can be if you just want to know something of the way that you want to travel, or get some mind map on where you're going. So because if I zoom in again here, I will of course go to the street view at some point. I assume. It doesn't have any street view information. Oh, there it goes. And now I should be able to hit here. Yeah, and you can see what I mean, right? So it's a very good way to get the feelings of your surroundings. Because of course with street view you can do a few things, but you can't do everything. So here you can sort of go into this. Let's fly away and see where, for example, the way that you get to the different side of the station. One maybe problem that we have, and I'm sure other countries have. Sometimes if you are on an appointment with somebody and you say, well, let's meet at the station, you have to figure out which exit they're actually talking about. So, for example, you would say, well, the one with the buses near the loop. So there would be this side. Well, this side, you could say, oh, well, I want to be where all the bikes are. So as proof, of course, the station, in this case, wageningen, inside, you can get rental bikes, which is somewhere over here. But there you see lots of bikes again. And of course, you can zoom in and probably see the bikes for real. At some point it will go to Google Maps. And we can go to Google Street View again. Well, there you have proof. Bikes everywhere. I was not lying. So this is not a massive town, but there's a lot of students and you can see that they put their bikes here. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. I'm not sure where we are going in the next one, but I hope you enjoyed this one, which was more me going to one of my work locations. Bye bye and thank you for watching.